Hi everybody, it's Tony. Today I want to run you through a short tutorial to show you how to upload a new article to the Hoppers Crossing Apex Club website. Now, to be able to do that, firstly you need to log in as a registered member of the club, so you need to type in your username and your password as I've done here and click on the login button. Now you'll see then that takes you into the members area of the club, and you get a new menu here called the member menu, which wasn't there earlier, and you'll see that has another number of options on it, one of which is submit an article, and that's what we want to do. So we'll just click on the submit an article button, and that will take us straight inside the website into the submit an article area, which is not publicly accessible. It's only available to registered users of the site. Now the first thing that we need to do is select a title for our article. Now, since this is a tutorial, we'll use a dummy heading, but obviously if you're doing an article about a service event or a social event, you type a suitable title for the article. In this case we'll just type it as test article for tutorial. Now the next thing that we need to add to the site is the text of what the article is going to be about. Now you can quite simply type that text into this box here if you'd like to, but I find it easier and better to type the text away from the website, to do it offline. Now you can use a number of different methods of doing that. You can type it in Word or a similar word processor, but if you're going to do that you need to save it as text only to remove any formatting from the article that you've typed. Word and other word processors put a whole lot of formatting into the document behind the text that you can't see, but when you copy it and transfer it over into a website such as this, it brings the formatting with it and it can cause you issues down the track. So save it as text only, or type it in a either WordPad or Notepad, and that way you just get the text. So here's an article that I've typed in Notepad. Now you'll see it's just paragraphs, a couple of headings, and you can see it's just gibberish. It's just text I've produced to put into this article. Now if we highlight the whole lot of it, right click it and put copy, and then we minimize Notepad, we go back to our text area, right click in there, push paste, and there we have our text has gone straight into our article. Now if you had a look through the website, you'll see that all of the articles, all the text on the article pages is actually justified even down either side of the page. In other words, it's a straight line down the left and a straight line down the right. Now you'll notice the text that's come in is justified to the left, but to make it fully justified across the page, we highlight all our text down to the bottom of the article, and then we push the justify button, which is here, and as you can see then that lines up the text evenly across the page. Now also, if you've been inside the website, you'll notice that in the index pages for the different news sections, you don't see the full article. You see the heading and what they call a teaser, which is the first few sentences from the article, which gives the reader an idea what it's about and then teases them into coming in and having a looking at the full article. So to set up a teaser for your article, because we need to do that so that they display properly, you can often use the first paragraph. Now you'll notice that this first paragraph is quite long and it's probably too long for the teaser, so we need to select a position in the first paragraph where we're going to put our read more button. So I think here's a good spot, so we click into the position where we want it, and you'll notice down here we have a read more button, so we click that and you'll see now that we've got a red line across here, so it's divided our teaser from our main article, and it shows here as a red line, but when we publish that it'll break it up and it'll put in a read more button, which will help us on the publishing to our site. Now we have our text here, but it's fairly boring. It's all just standard text. As you can see, the style is paragraph all the way through, so we want to perhaps change that a little bit to make it a bit more interesting. We've got our subheading 1 here, so we'll highlight that text and then we'll look at the style here, and you'll notice there's a number of different styles here, particularly heading styles. Now heading 1 is the style that's used for the main article heading, so we won't use that. We'll perhaps format this one as heading 2, so we click on heading 2, and we'll see here for our second subheading we'll highlight that, and we'll perhaps highlight that as, just to make it a bit different, heading 3. Now you'll see here we've got some short sentences separated out. Now perhaps we could best display that by setting that up as either a numbered list or perhaps dot points, so we'll perhaps call it dot points. So we'll click it, and as you can see it formats it into dot points. We have here an indent button, so we can click that also and perhaps indent it a bit further, and it changes the little dots as well, or we can put it back to where it was, whichever we prefer. We might leave it in there. Now down here in this little area of text here, we might like the way that is, but we might want to indent it a bit, so we can just click that and indent it as a group of text. Okay, so we've set up our subheadings, we've set up our text, our paragraphs, our read more position, so our text pretty much for the article is done. But if we just had text articles all over the website, that would be a little bit boring, and perhaps we'd like to add an image to our article. So what we might do is we'll put an image into this article. So we select where we might want to put the image, so we'll select here, and then we need to add an image to the website. Now at this point we'll have the image on our own personal computer, but somehow we need to get it up onto the website, and that all sounds a bit daunting, but it's actually quite simple. What we do is we click on the image button here, and this will open up a small screen here. Now the top half of this is showing us the actual images and folders that are on our website. So this is actually looking at what is up on our website. Now this is an article we're writing for the news area, so we need to double click on the news folder to make sure that we can get our image into the news section. As you can see here, it now shows us we're in the news directory. So what we do, we can scroll down here and see that there's a number of images that are already up in the news section, but we don't want to use any of those. We want to use our new image off our own computer, so we move down to the bottom to the upload section. Now the browse button, when we click on that, that'll take us a browse window within our own computer. So this is in our own personal computer. As you can see, it's taken us to the pictures library, and then we just scroll down through our folders and images until we get to the image that we want to use, which will be that one there. And we select open, and it then puts the address of where that image is located on our computer, and we click start upload. As you can see then, it says upload complete, so we now have that image up on the computer. So if we scroll down through these images, sure enough, there's our test pattern image. So if we select that, it indicates here what the URL or the address of that image is within our website. We now need to type in a description, which will be what will show up on our screen if the image for whatever reason doesn't download, or if someone hovers their mouse over our image. And on this occasion we'll call it test pattern image. Now image title, that's what will be displayed if we decide to have a caption on our image, and obviously if it's a photo of a working bee, you could put something like the members hard at work on a sunny Sunday afternoon or something like that. In this case we'll just put down test pattern image for the website. Now, do we want the caption to appear? We'll say yes we do, and we want to set the alignment for the image. We'll put it to the left. Once we're happy with our description, our title, whether we're having a caption and our positioning, we go up to here and click the insert button, and as you can see, that's put the image into our site. Now the image itself has probably come out a little bit large, so if we click on that and then we just reduce the size down to somewhere that we might like it, and we've probably put in a little bit, it hasn't worked out all that well there, we might make it a little bit smaller again, and that brings it down to a little bit more in line with that paragraph. Okay, now you'll see that the text is very close around the edge of the image, and perhaps we want to put a little bit of space around it, so we click on the image, and you'll see we have here the insert edit image button. So we click on there, and it brings us up another little box here, and it tells us how big the image is, where it's positioned, and what the description of that is. Now what we might like to do is we might like to have a border around that image. We don't have to. If we leave it blank or put in a 0, there'll be no border, but if we put in a 1, that'll just give us a single pixel thickness border around the image, so we'll do that just for demonstration purposes. Now vertical space, that'll give us space around the image, so that's measured in pixels also. Let's put in 10, and then for horizontal space we'll put in say 15 just to give some clearance around the image. We push update, and you'll notice now we've got a border around the image. We've got some clearance space around up and down. Now it's sort of put our heading a little bit out of alignment, so we'll just click at the end here and we'll push enter just to get our heading back down to the bottom. Now what we're going to do at this stage is that probably sets up our text for our article as how we want it. And we can now sort out where we want it to be. We want it to be in the news section, we want it to be in the club news section, we want it to publish. We don't want it on the front page. We only have one article on the front page, which is the welcome message. Now on occasions you'll be publishing articles perhaps that someone else has written. They might have emailed you the article text for you to put up, so you can put in an alias. You can actually put in the person who actually wrote the image as distinct from you. So on this occasion, just to demonstrate it, we'll type in an author's name. We'll call it Clark Kent. Start publishing. You can actually set the article to publish in advance, so if you wanted to put in an article about someone's birthday or some anniversary, you could select a date in advance, so you can actually click when you want the article to publish. On this occasion it's just today, so we'll leave it at today. And same with finishing. If you wanted to put an article up, for example, around Apex Week, you only wanted it to be up for a week, you click an end date as well, but this article we want to stay there all the time, so we'll just leave it at never. The access level relates to who can read the article. Public obviously means that anyone who visits the website can see it. If you change it to registered, that will then mean that only people who are registered users, club members, can read the article, but we'll leave this one as public because we want everyone to read it. And then in here is our description, where you'll type in a description of what the article's about. So it might be a description of the service project that you had, just a short description which will show up in search engines if someone finds the page, but in this case we'll just put test article for tutorial. And that's about it. That just about sorts out our article how we want it. So we click on the save button, and what that'll do is take us back into the website, back to the front page, and you'll see here that it says article successfully saved. Now when we go to the news, club news, and click on there, it brings up our index, and you'll see that our first article is the new article called test article for tutorial. There's our teaser. You'll see that it was published today. The author was Clark Kent, and we have our read more button here. When we click on that, it takes us into the full article, and there we have it. Our initial text, our subheading, our dot points, our images cause that a little bit of a problem, so we might have a look at that in a moment. It has our caption underneath, test pattern image for the website, the rest of our text, our indented text, and as you can see it all looks pretty neat except for this little image area here. So we've decided, okay, we've got a bit of a problem there. Now as the author, as the publisher and author, or the publisher in this case of the article, you'll see that we have a little pencil here, and if we hover over that it says edit article, and it tells us when it was published. It's published, it's a public article, and it was published today, and Clark Kent was the author. If we click on that, it takes us back into the page so that we can then edit that image. Now if we're looking at that image, we might decide, alright, that's not working out very well there, we might move it down to here. So we can do that, and then that should sort out that area up there. We have a bit of an image here, an issue here with a dot point, so we'll clear that out. We've moved our article down, our image down there in our article. We can push save, and it will take us back to our article, and as you can see, our dot points have gone back to how they should be. Our article's moved down here, and it fits in quite nicely, and the article looks fine. So that's it. We've created and published a new article to the Hoppers Crossing Apex Club. I hope you found the tutorial interesting and also informative, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks.